What's up, YouTube? Malco here, and I wanted to make a video just discussing some of my feelings about things going on in Pantheon. This is going to be more of like a what we call a talking head video, so feel free to just minimize and listen. It'll just be me up on screen, which is not too great to look at, but yeah. So I want to start with one of my big concerns, and that's like the failed fixes in patches. Like when we get a patch that says it does one thing, and it's like a simple fix. It's like black and white. It says like it does like this now works. Like Druid interrupt is now instant cast, and then you log on, and within 5 seconds of having the patch up, you've gone and you try to interrupt something on a druid just to learn that it still has a cast time. Yeah, we need to work on that. We shouldn't be putting out patch notes that say something very clearly is doing one thing when it very clearly is doing something else. You test, guys, like test your patch. So it's a nitpick, but I find it to be very what's the word? Unprofessional, short-sighted, lazy. So yeah, guys, please. Another thing is delays and things that I feel like should be a priority. Like we should have a roadmap already. I understand the bank stacking is like, it's a major bug, and maybe there's a lot of things going under the hood, but it's affecting players every day. Like I get complaints about, well, the bank stuff doesn't stack, and I don't want to do trade skills. I just don't even want to play the game, and blah blah blah, and that kind of like ties into like the UI just it needs help, and all that. So I feel like these things need to be a bit more of a priority. Also, we're working on reworking skills for classes that already have skills, which is obviously a good thing, but there are classes out there that literally have like no skills at all. And we're working on like we worked on the class that was the most fleshed out already, the shaman. We worked on that class that really just didn't need a rework right away. Like they were completely functional, but they were the first one to get a rework, and then we're working on the cleric, and we got the druid in. A druid has more skills than a monk, and a monk's been in the game since pre EA, whereas a monk has just barely enough skills to fill out a bar, and they have nothing purchased from the vendor after level 24. And their level 24 skill, which is the only thing they've gotten since pre EA, is a copy paste of a Dire Lord skill. So I feel like we really just need to get on the ball with some of these things. Lack of content, like it's a major thing. Like Joppa's even said, like content is king, and I mean it's a saying that all game devs should know. Like content is king, and I just feel like we're falling short on that. Like we're not really getting that much new stuff in because we're too focused on like balancing and like potential removal of chevrons and like changing how techniques work, and just all of these things. And honestly, much of what's being worked on could also have a lot of friction in the community, because some people probably like the idea of it, and some people, you know, won't like the idea of it. Like, I personally want a pretty difficult game. It wasn't too long ago that Joppa would always make jokes on stream saying, I thought you guys wanted a hard game. Like, every time someone would suggest that he made something easier, he would always say, you know, I thought you wanted a hard game. I do, personally. I do want a hard game. So it's left me like kind of thinking, like where did everything change? Like what changed that mindset? Yeah, also like on that note of the like working on difficulty and thinking about, well, we want our dungeons to be a little bit more accessible to like groups smaller than a full group. We've been doing this play testing with the 3-man on stream, and we're using a cleric, paladin, and necromancer, and then we're sitting there wondering why our time to kill is low. Like, Joppa, if you've watched this, dude, I love you, man. Like, but you have 0 DPS in the group. Of course it's going to be slow. Like, it's like watching paint dry, trying to watch you do these tests. Like, at least include a DPS in these. Like, yeah. And thankfully, Fusoyu finally clarified a little bit towards the end, like, this is probably the worst comp you could possibly have. And yeah, it is, but why test under these pretenses? And, Ronick is an awesome dude, but he was new to Halnir, which is fine. Like, people are gonna come in new to it. But you had him on the tank role, which is arguably like a lot of times the leader of the group, and has a lot of pressure on them to, kind of understand the layout of the dungeon. It is giving us that feeling of, well, if a new player can do it, then why is any group that's been there before having any type of difficulty? So anyways, feel free to discuss in the comments how you guys feel about these things. Hopefully this was some food for thought. I still have a lot of love for Pantheon and all of VR, but I am definitely concerned about some of these things. Anywho, drop a like, drop me a sub. I'll try to make videos a little bit more often. I've kind of been slacking lately, but it's been hard. It's been hard to get the desire to play. Like, I've been trying to find things to do in the game, and I'm just having some trouble with it. And it's hard to convince my friends to log on and do some things when there's not much to do. And I've played alts and all that. The main way I'm finding ways to play right now is I'm making content of my own. Like, we're playing in a group where if you die, you delete, you start over, like hardcore. Anyways, Malkel out, guys. See you later.